I thought I'd do a quick little post about how this whole coaching thing actually came about. And what you may not have known is that I've been coaching individuals for just about 20 years. Although I didn't know that was actually what I was doing. At the time, 20 years ago, I thought I was just giving my friends and people like good advice. And even at that young of an age, the people that I was speaking with started having like these miraculous, like literal like transformations in their marriage, in their relationships with their parents, their ability to communicate with other people, or they were able to take, the leap of faith and do something new. It wasn't until probably 10 years ago when I started, I knew I was leaving nursing and I was going to be out into the business world, where attending classes and seminars and, hanging around with the business people, that I was, I had my eyes open to what is actually formally known as an industry, as personal development. And I had no idea that the whole entire time I was just doing this good advice kind of a thing for friends and family and associates or whatnot, that I was actually operating in this personal development industry. Now, what happened was, at the same time, about 10 years ago, that was when I started competing. And then I was then introduced to a different series of coaches who had worked on the athletic arena in terms of like, how do you condition the mind of an athlete to become a champion? So I was having great coaching over in the business world and in the athletic arena. So when I started then kind of like molding, like, what am I going to do after nursing, into what you guys see now as this coaching thing, is I actually started sharpening my champion mindset success coaching first. And I used that in the setting of athletes who were competing at very high levels, very, very high level power lifters, and at the time, bodybuilders who were aspiring, they were nationally qualified, and they were aspiring to achieve pro status. And so those like strategic and very like powerful coaching things I used with them. And obviously they went on to compete, they did well, they got their pro card. And what I did was I used the champion mindset coaching in my nutrition programs. Because you guys remember, like, that was really like, I've always been very, very into health and wellness, and especially with nutrition. And when I combined a nutrition program with that champion mindset program, then all of a sudden the psychology of the people in the program completely changed. And then they were able to see how much control they actually had over their day-to-day operations, and they were assuming that driver's position, and they were able to steer then what is essentially like the vehicle of their life. It's their health. However, we came to like this little, it wasn't even a split in the road, it was like a ceiling where your health starts to affect other areas of your life, and one of which is finance. That if I'm no longer eating ramen noodles and I'm going to be eating healthier, well, that makes a huge financial hit on my household, or on my personal income level. And so what do we do with that? So it's actually been over the course of 10 years that I've taken all these different areas to develop my coaching program, which actually covers 6 key areas of your life. Health and fitness, of course, is in there, but the other large component in it really is the relationship that you have with money. And in order to make progress in that area, I mean, money's like such a huge pain point for people as individuals, as a couple, as a family, that I then had to learn more about how do you communicate and how do you get everybody's feels out of the finances in order to make powerful moves forward. So enter the nervous system and what is essentially atomic understanding of anatomy and physiology, that I've brought in my own specialty knowledge about the nervous system, like anatomically, how is the structure of a brain, man versus woman, different? How does it operate different? And how does that come out when we're having money conversations? Right? How does, the acidity or the volatility of your blood sugar actually impact your ability to have a calm and rational conversation now, but also your ability to forecast into the future and be able to do some pre-planning and set your family up for success in the future. So I've taken all of my gifts and my expertise and my knowledge and did a lot of like training and practicing in different age groups, from junior high all the way up through senior citizen, from the individual to the couple to the agency level, to come out with what you guys now are seeing as a formal coaching academy. And I know that it seems very abrupt, but it's definitely not something that Nicole's, oh gosh, now she's just doing this now. No, like usually by the time you guys hear anything from me, I've already invested years before I ever make public the things that I'm doing. So the moral of the story is less talky, more worky. Use your gifts, use your talents. And when you're creative and you want to take your life in a different direction, it's very simple. It's just making sure that instead of only looking at a problem like close up like this, that you take a step back so that you're able to have more of a panoramic view and see how you could knit all those different pieces together to make something that's going to work for you, whether it's a career, it's your hobby, how you like the relationship to go, etc., etc.